St. Lucia's government is closely monitoring speculative reports of potential U.S. travel restrictions, a development threatening the island's vital tourism sector. Unconfirmed reports widely circulating indicate the U.S. State Department is reviewing 36 countries, including St. Lucia and other Caribbean nations, for new entry limitations. Justifications for this scrutiny reportedly include concerns over identity documentation and elevated visa overstay rates following broader U.S. policy shifts. Speaking outside Parliament on Tuesday, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism and Investment Dr. Ernest Hilaire acknowledged an ease among Caribbean nationals in the U.S., but emphasized Washington has issued no formal communication. The potential economic ramifications for the tourism-reliant economy remain a primary concern.
We very closely monitoring what's happening in the United States. There's a lot of unease, memos been leaked, denials that the memos exist. We have had no official correspondence from the United States. And when we've spoken to them, they too have told us that there is no such official correspondence or matter to bring to our attention. So it is business as usual for us. But you can imagine the disquiet and the discomfort it is creating for Saint Lucians in the United States, and not just Saint Lucians, all Caribbean people, as well as, all immigrants living in the United States right now. It's not an easy time. So we are closely monitoring the effect that can have, because a large part of our attendance at Carnival is Saint Lucians living in the diaspora. So if there is uncertainty, if there is unease among them, it can have an effect on us. So we are closely monitoring this.
Dr. Hilaire emphasized the pragmatic reality that St. Lucia cannot unilaterally dictate U.S. immigration policy, but affirmed continuous diplomatic engagement. Regional leaders, including CARICOM heads, are reportedly discussing the matter.
Well, we don't control American immigration policy. If we could call them and tell them how to conduct it, surely we would make life a lot easier for all our peoples. But the heads are meeting in St. Vincent today, so I'm sure this matter will be discussed. There was an engagement with the Secretary of State of the United States and OECS heads recently that this matter was not, a matter of concern at that discussion. And we will continue to lobby the United States government as best as we can. The various countries have their embassies, and they would be reaching out and getting the assurances, which we have done. We've reached out and we've gotten the assurance that at this point there's no validity in what's been expressed. But of course, public policy is what it is. We'll continue to monitor it.
Speculating linking the potential restrictions to St. Lucia's citizenship by investment program or its relationship with Cuba was also addressed by Minister Hilaire. He clarified that while the U.S. had previously raised concerns regarding Cuban medical personnel and the CIP, St. Lucia has meticulously adhered to agreed-upon protocols.
Well, nobody really knows until you get correspondence that specifically tells you why, if it happens. But don't forget, it's not only Caribbean countries. It's happening in Asia, in the Far East. So one doesn't know, and until you get correspondence, it will just be sheer speculation. We know they have raised the issue of the use of Cuban medical personnel. We know we've been engaged with the United States on the CIP. They gave us what they call the 6 principles that we had to follow, and that if we follow those 6 principles, it would be an acceptable arrangement for them. We have implemented all of the 6 principles agreed to with the United States, and they have not raised any other issues with us. And any international partner of us, of Saint Lucia, that raise any issue, we will seek to address it. That's the approach we've taken. We understand in global politics it's about partnership, it's about working together, and just like we raise issues with them, we raise issues with them on various matters, and they too take into consideration the issues we raise. We raise issues on climate change, we raise issues on small arms being trafficked to our countries. We raise those issues, and likewise they raise their issues with us, and as friendly partners in the international system we discuss and try and find solutions.
Beyond the immediate geopolitical concerns, St. Lucia maintains its active presence on the global stage. The nation is currently participating in the World Expo in Osaka, Japan, featuring a dedicated booth managed by various national agencies, including Export St. Lucia and the Tourism Authority. Saint Lucia's designated open day at the expo, promising a robust cultural performance, is slated for the end of August, concluding Emancipation Month celebrations. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.